Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. Today is a little bit of a bittersweet day. Lambs are loud. But today, little Mr. Loki is gonna go to his new home. We spent a little bit of time getting him trained onto a bottle so that he could go as a bottle baby. And he is going to a new home in Georgia. So he gets to have a bit of a long drive, but he's gonna do great in his new place. He's gonna go be a breeding buck, and so he's gonna get to live his life to the fullest. We're very excited for him, and we're also a little sad that he's gonna go. But I'm gonna go ahead and get him collected, and we're gonna get him loaded up and say goodbye. All right, little buddy. You're gonna love your new home. Yeah. He's a pretty darn cute little guy. So we're sad to see him go. You can't keep all the babies as much as you want to, because eventually they turn into not babies. So this is the time to let them go when they're cute and people love them and people want them. And then they'll love them as much as we do. Bye, buddy. Have a good life. So our dear little Mr. Loki went to his new home yesterday.
Farewell, Loki. Keep it on the lowdown.
He's doing great. He did really well for the drive. So I'm really happy that he's gonna have a great life in a new home.
In another state.
In another state.
He's well traveled.
He is. He's a well-traveled goat.
Speaking of traveling, we got some animals that are doing some traveling today.
Yes, maybe not traveling, but relocating for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the idea of all this. And relocation to a new location of green and happy.
So what we've been doing for the past week or so is that we had our doe goats rotating in this Premier One net that you see behind us. We've been moving them kind of all over our yard, just trying to get them on fresh pasture, because we were dealing with some pretty significant worm issues in their current pasture. So trying to get them out and get them off of it. It's not perfect because they do still have to go back in there at night, but trying to get them off of it as much as possible and let that ground rest. So that was a very temporary measure of moving them around in this netting, because there's only so many places you can go with it, and you have to move it so frequently. It's really kind of a difficult thing to add into our morning chores.
But it did mean I didn't have to mow the lawn.
That's right.
At least
we did not.
The net got to.
Did not have to mow the lawn, which we should totally do this to mow the whole front yard with the sheep.
I'm gonna mow that with a zero-turn riding lawnmower, because I bought one of those and I need to use it this year.
I want to use it too.
Anyway, we have been working on our expansion for the doe pen, and it's finally finished. Yes, I'm so excited. We're gonna get to put the does in their new enclosure, and they're just gonna be over the moon with all the fresh browse in there.
Yeah.
You may or may not remember, back in, I want to say July of last year, we started this project. We had visions of going out there and fencing in this pen while my sister was visiting, right around the 4th of July and the weeks following. And we went out there, and the very first post we put in, we hit rock. And
Yep.
it was utterly disappointing because for the next 10 posts after that, we also hit rock. It was like a shale wall that said, And so it kind of just went on hold. Kind of just went on hold for almost a year. I mean, here we are in April, and we are just now getting around to finishing it. What we may or may not have been able to record, I don't know. We tried to get so much done this week because I was off work, but we
Which
literally
included working in the rain, so you cannot have the camera out in the rain.
Yeah.
And a super windy day when it was just not possible to even bring the tripod out because the wind would have knocked it over.
Yeah, but a lot of those spaces where there was hard rock that we couldn't even get through with slamming a tractor down on the post, the T-posts. We used every trick in the book, couldn't get it done. We ended up using a jackhammer to dig out the holes, put the T-posts in, cemented those in place. In some corner spots we used wooden posts. We even used wood from our own farm
We did.
for some fence posts at a few places, so that was super awesome. We had some help from some friends who came over and helped us stretch fence, but a lot of it was courtesy of this guy's muscles and Amanda's dad and I just working some long hours out in the sun and wind and rain and just knocking it out. But we are ready to let those little goatsies into their new pasture today. Also, not that I get all the credit, though I'll take it. Amanda worked hard setting up a pen with some help from the kiddos as well, an electric goat pen for the boy goats, so they'll no longer be in their small area, and instead they'll be able to graze some of our hillside, which is just fantastic. So,
Yes. Now, it was a goal fairly early on to have the boy goats and now boy sheep be mobile and be able to use them to clear different spaces on the property, but it was like, okay, how do we work out the fencing? We've got a lot of hills, and the ultimate determination was that we need to put them on a electric strand fence rather than an electric net. So it involved a long afternoon of putting up an electric fence inside their pen just to train them to respect the electric.
which they did quick.
They learned very quickly to
Yeah.
respect it. So, yeah, before they were incredibly rude and like climbing you when you came in through the gate. And once there was like an electric gate, they wouldn't come anywhere near us when we were coming in through the gate, which was,
I get bit when I go over there.
it was
Spicy
so
fence.
helpful. So now I've got this new pen in the cattle pasture, which means that the cattle have also had to learn what the spicy fence means.
They don't like it.
They learned very quickly, so they leave it alone. And so we're gonna get to
Yeah.
we're gonna get to move the guys, the boys, the bachelors. We really need to come
Ooh.
up with a group name.
The hoofed dudes.
Sometimes
Dudes.
bachelors.
Yeah.
The grazers. I don't know.
The
But
grazers.
Grazer guys.
Grazer guy. That has
there
to
you
be
go,
it.
grazer guys.
Inner day.
That was our little group think session.
Or the browser boys.
Ooh.
Grazer guys.
boys.
Grazer guys.
Razor boys.
Grazer guys.
boys.
Grazer guys.
Razor.
Well, we'll come up with
Yeah,
something.
we'll let you know. Throw your ideas in the comments.
Sometimes-
GBB. Yeah, by all means, please come up with more suggestions. All right, we have a calf hut that we actually bought to be as a mobile shelter for the boys.
The Grazer guys.
The grazer guys. So
grazer boys.
we'll have a shelter for them so that whenever it does rain, we don't have to go out there and be scrambling to move them all into a barn. They have a place of shelter from the rain. They have a place of shade. So
And that means we don't have to bring them in every single night, too.
yes, and the guardian dog will be going with them.
That's right.
So Hercules gets to get out too.
So what are we doing? Girls first, boys first?
Boys, girls, I mean.
boy. Girl.
Ladies first?
Let's
Ladies
do the
first.
ladies first.
Let's do it.
Ladies first.
Now, another thing that we're going to do as we're getting ready to move the girls out is also check on Betsy, because she is 3 days past her due date and still has not gone into labor, as she's running out because she's used to rotating now. She's like, let me out, let me out. Betsy, you're not going out that gate today. Hi, sweetie.
Whole new gate for you.
Okay. We're gonna come over here, check your ligaments. Ooh. They're much softer than they were this morning. They're still there. Oh, thank you for that contribution. You go ahead and finish, then we'll look at your udder. Look out, Bindi.
Bandy.
Let's see.
Dandy.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Dandy.
No, still hasn't popped yet. So, we'll just have to keep on checking her. Tell me, Mom. May I help you? Goodness, Vanessa,
Thanks.
what are you doing?
Hey. Hi, Spoo.
For those of you keeping track at home, we had this doe pen, their home field, right, done originally with woven wire fencing. And it wasn't like the hardcore heavy stuff. It was just as basic as it gets, just field fencing. And it worked out really good originally when we had small goats. Then when we graduated to the full-size goats, we realized they like to climb and they like to push stuff down, and they totally just abused the snot out of this fencing, breaking it down in places. So ultimately what we ended up having to do was upgrade. We had a friend who worked at a local supply company, got us a family and friends discount, and we were able to finally afford and upgrade the heavy weight of the wire to the full red brand or red top fencing, as you can see now behind us. So this whole fencing here now is all red top, and it's fantastic and nice and tight. I'll show you just how tight it is. So they could get on it and they might be able to push it down some, but it's gonna actually hold their weight. Not that they'll need to get up on it, because where we're going next, that we also do with the same red top fencing, is so big, they're not gonna need to stretch for anything outside this area. They're gonna have all the browse their little hearts could desire. Come with me. This back fence area, also we did with the red brand. It's really fully enclosed in this, the red top, but over here, we have a gate. And this gate is going to allow those goats access to a whole new world. In fact, this gate looks like it's been left open. We just got lucky they didn't go in there. Check it out, come with me. Over the life of this project, and as we've graduated our fencing and stuff, we've seen a lot of that reaching through as these goats try to make sense of the new fence, new boundaries, and they have no idea what is coming. So this project will go all the way from this. This is all the new pasture, all the way down to the pond at the bottom. We're very excited. These goats have no idea what a majestic area they have to browse in, and in just a few moments when we release them, it'll be it'll be mayhem for just a bit. Goaties, come on! Look!
There you go.
Whoa!
Go far. They're so happy! This is exactly what I wanted. We're gonna have to leave this gate open because their only water is still in here. We gotta figure out where we're gonna put water in this pen, but they know where to get water. They know to go over there for it. So, but oh, that's so exciting! Realization of like an actual goal that I've had since last summer. Yay! What is wrong with these three?
The grass is always greener.
There's like 2 acres of browse and grazing behind them, but they want to reach through the fence for the stuff outside.
want that grass.
That grass is better. That's hilarious. A farmer's work is never finished. What you doing?
I don't want to talk about it. Take a few steps back and you'll see what I'm doing.
I hope that brick all the way over here. Not good enough for you?
Oh dear.
This is what the gate we call the straight gate. When we put it in, we had discussions on what side of the tree do we want to put it on. That side looks flatter, but it's shale. It's solid rock under it, and we didn't want to put another post in. So we figured we could probably get this straight. We couldn't.
And to be clear,
Yes.
what was it that I said about putting it on the tree?
I don't remember the
I
slightest
don't want you to
bit.
speak so I hear it's blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
It's hard
there's
to say.
nothing is ringing any bells. I'm not coming to me. But in the meantime, I'm going to put a little piece of wire at the bottom of this until I can figure out a way
think
to
it's beautiful
shim
and
it or put a
artistic.
post in or something like that.
Basically, the thing that I said about trying to hang the gate on
It's
a
not
tree
coming to me. Nope, nope, not coming to me.
is that the base of the tree is the widest part and it's gonna taper up. It's not gonna be perpendicular to the ground. It's not gonna be straight up and down.
In my defense,
And
there
look,
are a lot of straight trees on this
It's
property.
not straight up and down, guys.
It's close enough for a goat.
Yeah, good enough for goat work.
It's close enough for a goat to get under it. Unless you block it up. Good times. So, it will be ultimately addressed, but right now it just needs to be goat proofed. So, goat proofing it until he can get to it.
If I can offer you one piece of advice as you're doing projects on your own farm or yard or house or whatever, doing it once, anyone can do a project once. It takes a real hard worker, someone dedicated to a project to do it twice. If you can muster a third time doing the same project, that makes you a true, true man. Third time's the charm. That was not an accident they came up with that idiom. Third time's the charm.
So now the girls are all settled in their new expanded pen. I'm so excited and they're so happy. We're gonna get the boys set in their new pen, and that is going to include having to move this. This is a calf hut that we bought off of our friends. It's gonna work great as a mobile shelter for the boys. Now, why do we have a mobile shelter for the boys and not for the girls? Because the girls, their enclosure is attached to their barn, so we can bring them in at night very easily. The boys' pen is gonna be a bit of a hike, and it's really going to be a whole lot of extra work to have to go get them and bring them back in when they have a guardian dog with them. So I think that it's going to be way easier on us if we have a shelter that is mobile and can move with them, so they have protection from the elements and they still have their guardian dog with them. So that's what we're going to do. David and I are going to move this thing and try not to die trying to get it down a hill. And then we're going to get the boys all moved. This is their new enclosure. Goes all the way around to the back of this hill, stair steps down and kind of follows the edge of the little creek that drains into the pond. So they got a nice big open space in here for them to clear out and have fun grazing down.